Welcome, welcome, Garden Joy fans. It is a super exciting day for us because we're here to bring you our Earth Month announcement. It has been an exciting time in Garden Joy with a lot of new challenges, new series, and of course, new levels to keep you entertained. We have a special guest, Hannah from One Tree Planted, who is our favorite forest fanatic, who will be telling us all about the fantastic work that they're doing over at One Tree Planted and how you can help and how Garden Joy is helping plant trees all around the world. To kick us off, we wanted to get started with our brand new Earth Month trailer, just to give you a taste of all the fun that's coming to Garden Joy later this week. If you're looking for something to do in Garden Joy, I highly recommend finishing the Garden City series before it goes away. If you finish 5 out of the 6 challenges, you'll earn exclusive items that I think you might find pretty helpful during our Earth Day festivities later this week. Let's watch the video and then we'll get back to ask Hannah some burning questions about all the good that they're doing over at One Tree Planted.
The earth is and it needs our help to heal and grow. You can help just by lifting a finger. Garden Joy is on a mission to plant 1 million trees, and we need your help to do it. Want to spread the love? When you invite a friend to play, we'll plant 1 tree for them and 1 tree for you. Our partners at One Tree Planted are dedicated to reforesting the world. Every tree we help them plant has a unique impact on forests, communities, biodiversity, and the environment. With 1 million trees planted, we'll restore over 7,600 acres of forest. That's 5,000 football fields, and negate the carbon impact of over 2,000 cars. Help us get started on our journey to 1 million trees. Download Garden Joy for free today. When you play,
You heard that right. Garden Joy is committed to planting 1 million trees, and you can help. We're trying to make this as easy as possible. You can help us by downloading and playing Garden Joy today. I don't know if you noticed the handy dandy QR code in the corner, but if you download Garden Joy from that QR code, you will be able to plant a tree after completing your first 3 challenges. Now, don't think that that's going to take forever. It is only 10 minutes in order to get from 0 to 1 tree planted. But if you're like me and you want to do a little more for the environment, you can invite your friends and family to play Garden Joy. For every friend, family member, whoever you invite, we will plant an additional tree and give you some bonus diamonds to spice up your gardens. So don't miss out. We also have extra opportunities to plant trees through special bundles and events, including but not limited to our exciting Earth Day bundle that is specifically partnered with One Tree Planted. We've got exclusive flora, decor, and of course, the opportunity to purchase a real tree and plant it in the region of your choice. But okay, fine. I'm offering a little amount of trees. Do you want to plant 1,000 trees? Yeah? Cool. Because we have a sweepstakes running right now where you can win the chance to win 1,000 trees planted in your name and a $1,000 Amazon gift card, just to pat yourself on the back for planting 1,000 trees. You can enter that right now from gardenjoygang.com/Earth Month, or check out our social media where we have the links. It's easy to enter. It's easy to get a chance to win 1,000 trees planted in your name. Second prize winners will get 100 trees planted in their name and a $100 Amazon gift card. So we are doing so much good. But okay, 1,000 trees sounds pretty good, but who's going to be doing the actual work of planting them? We've got Hannah here to tell us all about what One Tree Planted does.
Thanks so much, Melanie. Super excited to be here with Garden Joy and everybody at home. Yes, I'd love to tell you more about our organization. I work with our partners like Garden Joy and other clients to get trees in the ground, planted, growing, and thriving. And the way that we do this is in partnership with grassroots organizations, restoration groups, and also government stewardship organizations. So we don't hire tree planters directly, but rather we're working with these organizations on the ground, as well as a few First Nations and Indigenous groups as well, which are some projects that that are really near and dear to my heart. And the way that we're doing this, a lot of you are asking, I can buy a candy bar for $1 or less. How is this planting a tree? And the way that this happens is that we are planting small saplings at scale in partnership, for the most part, with these organizations. These are in large part in rural settings. So we're planting, they're called widths in the forestry setting. They're about yay high. A mangrove seedling or sapling might be about this tall or big, and those are going into coastal settings. And these small trees, of course, do make it more affordable. They're more affordable at the nursery, more affordable to grow, but also because they are able to be planted at scale, that's how we're able to keep those costs really low. But something really important to note is that we don't just put these trees in the ground and say goodbye, good luck. We are working with these partner organizations post-planting as well as through year 1 and 3 to make sure that these trees are, again, surviving and thriving and doing the great work that we're looking to achieve, all of us together, in service of people, planet, and biodiversity. At that 3-year mark, we have about an 80% survival rate of our trees. And that 20% drop off is typically because of natural occurrences like fires, floods, even deer eating small, yummy, juicy young saplings. So we're really proud of those numbers, and we couldn't be where we are today without, again, partners like Garden Joy. So super excited to be here.
That's really great to hear. How did One Tree Planted get started?
This is a great question, Melanie. So our founder actually started One Tree Planted just over 10 years ago in 2014 because he really wanted to make it easy and accessible to get involved in helping the environment. I'm sure a lot of you might feel the same kind of anxiety around the climate that I often feel, and it can sometimes feel overwhelming and like you can't make a difference. And so he, being involved in the corporate and the education setting, saw this opportunity to, again, make things accessible. It might be really convoluted for many folks to understand how much CO2 they're emitting, or, XYZ number of CO2 is now sequestered from the environment, or all these kind of really jargony scientific settings and impacts that folks are making. But what folks really understand and hits home for even a 2 or 3-year-old to a 65 or 92-year-old is a tree planted. And again, back to that candy bar anecdote, if you can buy a pack of gum or Snicker bar or plant a tree, many folks would choose to plant that tree because what an incredible impact. And these trees will go on to do so much for the environment, so much for the air, for water, for biodiversity, and for ourselves. So again, to make that easy and accessible, he created that $1 one tree model, and we've rolled with it. And folks, it's really resonated with folks, and we've gained so much support globally.
You're telling me. That's amazing. I mean, I can't get much for $1 nowadays. So to know that I am planting a tree is really awesome. And how many trees has One Tree planted to date?
We've actually reached in 2023 100 million trees planted globally.
What?
So, yes, a really incredible impact. And something to note is that not all of our trees are necessarily $1. We do have some projects, such as Australia, where it's $3, and some countries in the European Union where it's 2. Also have incredible urban forestry projects, which are much larger trees that vary in cost significantly. They can be anywhere from $25 to upwards of a few hundred US dollars per tree, because again, these are larger trees. They can be 5-6 feet tall in some cases, going into cities, parks, schools, but these have incredible environmental justice impacts, as you can imagine. So really a wide diversity of trees that we're planting, not just that $1 model, but yes, we have planted that 100 million to date.
That is fantastic. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think of a tree, I always default to the very average oak tree. But I imagine One Tree Planted isn't just popping an oak tree in all around the world, especially not 5 to 6 foot tall trees in urban areas. So, what kind of trees do you all plant?
This is a great question. So we're always planting native and appropriate species, depending, of course, on the geography. As you know, Melanie, and as I'm happy to tell Garden Joy folks, we're planting trees in all continents that need and support trees. So except for the Arctic circles, we have a presence, and we're planting anywhere from longleaf pine to support woodpeckers and tortoises in the southeast of the United States, to mangroves in Costa Rica and the Osa Peninsula, also mangroves off the coast of India to help to prevent flooding, landslides and erosion, And then we're even planting fruit and nut trees in many cases. And sometimes they can be in agroforestry projects. And what that means is there may be an existing cacao or even a coffee farm, for example. We're helping these farmers, small shareholder farmers, to make their crops more biodiverse, to inlay those with, mango trees, banana, fruit, nut trees that they can not only take to market, but they actually make that forest system, because these agriculture systems are forest systems. There's wildlife in them, as well as the people working in them. They make them healthier. They're no longer a monocrop, and they actually help their crops to thrive, their main crops. I believe it's coffee that actually does better in shade. So these crops can not only help the farmers to feed themselves, give them more fruits for market, but also help their primary crop as well. So it really runs the gamut from pine trees, oak trees, mangroves, really whatever. And we really rely on those local partners to tell us what is their need, what are their local and native species they need planted, and we get those in the ground.
That's super awesome. Personally, if One Tree Planted could come and pop a lemon tree in my backyard, that would be ideal for me because that's really what I need in the summer. But I understand that I'm not the number one person in need. As far as people in need go, have you ever been to personally plant trees? Like, what was it like?
Yes. So last year we had an event, One Tree Planted, in partnership with with our corporate partners and our planting partners. It's called Forest Fest, and we held that in Colorado, primarily in Denver. And we had a planting event at what's called Yellow Barn Farm, just outside of Longmont, Colorado. There was a few hundred people, I think about 400, and we planted thousands of trees in just one day. It was a really incredible event. We were actually really worried, the planners that was, because it snowed the day before, and so it was pretty cold. And we went out early in the morning, but luckily the ground was not frozen. So although there was about 2 inches of kind of a light snow on the ground, we dug and planted those trees and also shrubs that day as well. And it was really incredible because you saw young children, I mean, as young as 5 or 6 years old, all bundled up, to 60 plus years old. Grandparents to grandkids were there. And it was incredible because this is a regenerative farm. So they were using what's called swales. As you can imagine, Denver is facing a lot of droughts lately. And swales are essentially a way of making small hills on the land and planting within them so they can actually catch the water and the vegetation there, those trees and shrubs again, in tandem with each other. They're healthier. Again, that biodiversity, they're different trees, shrubs planted all in a row, and they actually catch the water and help it stay there, not only so they can thrive, but so that the vegetation around them can thrive. So to see those like kind of swales like edging through the environment at the end of the day, and just one day, and to kind of feel that incredible collective impact. And Yellow Barn Farm is incredible. There was music and dancing afterwards. So just really, I've never experienced something like that, to kind of have that kind of an impact in one day. So would highly recommend anyone, if you can get your hands in the dirt out with a local restoration tree planting organization, go ahead and look for those opportunities because they really are quite incredible.
That really does sound wonderful. I've done some local volunteering in NorCal, and I've always found it to be really enriching and fun to not only get my hands dirty, but also to meet new people from my community. You never know who you're going to meet volunteering. It's always really fun to get to know people doing a common activity. Oh, speaking of, okay, where do you think One Tree Planted has really made the biggest impact? I'm not trying to direct people's trees, but I'd love to know.
Yes, this is a great question. So, and one that I probably won't give the best answer to because my answer is it depends. And so we have so many incredible projects, Melanie, and they really, again, just span the gamut. But just to highlight a few, we have an incredible project with our partners in the Andes Mountain region where we're planting polylepis forests, and just
Oh,
incredible. Go ahead and like check out our YouTube and this is not a unsolicited. Look for those videos on these communities. It's called the Quinoa Raimi tribe, and they're going up and planting trees. These are thousands of trees in support of the watersheds in the Andes ecosystem. Just an incredible story. And similar to Longmont, Colorado, they're planting hundreds of thousands of trees in one day. It's just incredible. It gives me goosebumps every time I think about this project. Another one that we have is in Thailand in support of hill tribes there that many people aren't aware of. This is actually close to the border of Myanmar. And these populations, although they've been in Thailand for generations, because of different political struggles, they're not recognized as citizens, so don't have a lot of the rights that other Thai citizens might. So they're really marginalized community, but they're really stewarding the land, and we're helping them to plant trees to help with their economic security. On top of that, we have so many projects for forest fire recovery, not just in kind of the traditional places you might think of it, the west of the United States and also in Canada, where there's really a need, but places, again, that aren't as top of mind for people globally, like Portugal, that has been hit really hard with forest fires. Just really incredibly diverse projects. So whether it's, again, forest fire recovery, or those mangroves, those coastal regions that really speak to your heart and soul, or something conversely, like the koalas in Australia. We really kind of have a project for everyone. And one last one I'll touch on is in support of monarch butterfly populations in Mexico. And that's one that's really near and dear to my heart. And we have multiple planting partners in that region and a multi-year project to really support this habitat that is in danger of just being completely deforested at this point. So really helping to restore that ecosystem and make it robust. We're seeing the decline of the monarchs, and we want to help reverse that trend.
Oh my God, that is just beautiful to hear. We at Garden Joy are absolute butterfly fans. I don't know if you know, but butterflies were one of the most important things that we added to the game. You can place a butterfly in the vast majority of your gardens. And so to hear that our trees are helping restore monarch butterfly populations, oh, that is just fantastic. So how can people get involved with One Tree Planted outside of the obvious playing Garden Joy?
Absolutely, yes. So definitely play Garden Joy, especially if that sings to your heart. And you can always head over to our website, onetreeplanted.org, and check out our sites, different planting locations, and plant a tree if that speaks to you. Another really fun way I always encourage folks to get involved is to think about different ways to get creative. Say you don't have all the funds you'd like to plant trees, but think about maybe your birthday this year. I'm turning 32, for example, and I want to ask all my friends to plant 32 trees for my birthday rather than give me a gift. You can do the same thing for anniversaries. You can consider planting trees for your employees at work, for your customers, again, for your kids. All my nieces and nephews are tired of getting trees for me for their birthdays. But I'm like, it's for your future. You're going to love it later. No, but they love it. I'm just kidding. But those really, again, creative ways. It's not all just about tree planting, but how can you also change your day-to-day habits, right?
Yeah.
One other way I always encourage folks that you may not think about right away is to get out into your public lands and spaces, these wild places. The more these lands are used, and of course, if you pack it in, pack it out, make sure you leave it as you found it. But the more you use it, the more that our government is incentivized to keep these places. And the more, again, of these public spaces, including parks. Local parks are refuges for wildlife, and they are carbon sinks. So again, the more we're using them, and the cities, governments see that we want these kinds of assets and these kinds of impacts in our lives, the more they'll get more funding. And those places will be, again, they will be stewarded and kept by the government. We want to see those places not just stay the way they are, but expand. And definitely get in touch with even folks who, again, can make those kinds of impacts. If you're working in a large company, you can put in more green space for folks to enjoy. Really get creative. Kind of the sky is the limit when it comes to making these impacts. And if you're at a loss, again, you can always plant a tree with us. $1 plants one tree.
Hannah, that was just fantastic. It really gave me a lot to think on. And with Earth Day coming up, I'm always trying to remember ways that I can help my community really make a difference in the environment and just make small changes in order to do the best that we can for the earth that we have. I know that a lot of us spend a lot of time thinking about what we're going to leave for our children, our grandchildren, their children, and it's really nice to know that we all have a mission that we can work together for. And now, maybe we lighten the mood a little. Do you have any fun tree facts you'd like to share?
Yes, this one is my geeky, fun fact that I always like to tell people, because many of us know that, of course, trees do sequester CO2. That's kind of the fun fact. buzzword that everyone's talking about nowadays. But what folks might not know is that trees also absorb and break down through pores in their leaves. They're called stomata. They break down and absorb sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, as well as ozone. And these are other, of course, of those gases that aren't, we don't want as many of them in our atmosphere. And it's not just CO2 that trees are impacting. So really incredible. And they also, that particulate matter that everyone's always talking about that is not good for us to breathe in and is so present near cities and just in our air, trees actually catch particulate matter on their vegetative surfaces. So they almost act like giant nets. And then they actually catch it and it washes off and down into the soil during rain. So they're not only kind of breathing in CO2, but all these other gaseous and then particulate matters to help our air be fresher and cleaner. So that's my geeky kind of fun fact. And the last thing I'll leave you with to kind of get involved, because I absolutely love this, and it has to do with our real gardens, which is such a great segue to Garden Joy, is check out, this is one of my favorite books. It's called Nature's Best Hope by Douglas Tallaway. And this is a way that you can actually plant native trees and turn, if you have green space in your home, into a refuge and a small carbon sink for the planet and for your local and native wildlife. So just really incredible way you can create your own garden to be, again, that restorative habitat for your local wildlife.
I absolutely love hearing that. We actually will have a fantastic DIY coming later this week on how you can plant your own tree. So it's really good to hear that there's additional materials that our fans can read about and plant a tree in their own backyard. But if you're like me and your backyard is too small to hold a tree, you can plant a tree right now by downloading Garden Joy. We have our QR code up in the corner. But if you're looking for a way to plant a tree and you're already a player, remember that anytime you can invite a friend to Garden Joy and we will plant a tree for them absolutely free. You are missing out if you're not helping the planet by bringing your friends into play. Plus, who's going to play co-op events with you? That's what I thought. So this month, we're also going to have a bunch of special ways for you to help plant trees, including special bundles, events, and maybe some special opportunities on Earth Day. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're looking to make a big impact, remember that you can enter our sweepstakes right now for your chance to win 1,000 trees planted in your name. 1,000. That's like kind of a lot. If you want to enter that sweepstakes, head over to gardenjoygame.com/Earth Month and make sure that you are signed up. You can also win a $1,000 Amazon gift card, but those trees are really what you're after. I know it. If you're looking to donate trees directly, you can head to onetreeplanted.org to learn more about their organization, donate trees directly, see all of their really exciting materials about how, why, where, and when they plant trees, and learn even more about what's great. Hannah, do you have anything you'd like to tell the audience before we sign off?
Just a huge thanks to everyone, and have fun, get out there planting, not just in the Garden Joy app, but in real life as well. And your own happiness and health and the planet's will only be better for it.
Fully agreed. Live, laugh, plants. We love to see you. Have a fantastic Earth Day and stick around because we're going to have plenty more events this week. Thank you all for joining. Bye.
Thanks so much, everyone.